Okay, let's just be honest. Almost every single team struggles with this. Trying to transform a completely chaotic Slack workspace into a highly structured ticketing hub is tough. But today, we are going to build a fully functional bug report bot, and we're going to do it without writing a single line of code. It's all about working smarter, not harder, right inside the tool you're already living in every single day. I mean, have you ever lost a completely critical request in a massive sea of unstructured direct messages? We have definitely all been there. You're deep in focused work, and suddenly you get that dreaded drive-by DM saying, "Hey, the app is glitching." There's no context, there are no steps to reproduce, just a really vague ping. And suddenly a crucial bug is just buried under weekend plans and lunch orders, and you're spending half your day just trying to chase down the actual details. And the impact of this is honestly staggering. Research actually shows that desk workers spend 41% of their time on low-value repetitive tasks. Let's put that into perspective. 41%. That is nearly half of your entire work week just eaten up by this hidden work of gathering missing information, copy-pasting data between different apps, or clarifying those vague requests. It is a massive, massive drain on team productivity. So to fix this, here's our game plan for today. First, we'll look at the chaos of unstructured requests. Then, the workflow builder solution. Next, we'll literally build a bug report bot step by step, see it in action during a real support scenario, and finally wrap up with some essential best practices. Let's get to it. Okay, section 1. The chaos of unstructured requests. Before we actually build any automations, we really need to pinpoint exactly what's breaking down in our current communication loops. There's a quote that perfectly hits the nail on the head. The drive-by DM culture, where requests arrive without the details needed for action. That drive-by DM culture is just fundamentally flawed, because when anyone can ping anyone at any time with a super informal message, there's zero standard intake process. Engineers and support agents are basically forced to become detectives, right? Asking the exact same follow-up questions over and over again. What OS are you using? Can you send me a screenshot? What's the actual severity? It just completely breaks down team efficiency. Right, section 2, the workflow builder solution. We are going to establish what's called a single front door for all your requests. So what is a Slack workflow? Simply put, it's an automation where a predefined trigger runs a set of actions to reduce all that repetitive back and forth. It acts as your gatekeeper. Instead of sending a direct message, your team interacts with the workflow. This ensures that every single request is perfectly consistent before it ever even reaches a human being. And the best part? It is 100% no code. To understand how this works, think of it like building blocks. It's built on 4 logical components. First up, triggers. This is simply what starts the automation, like clicking a link or maybe using an emoji. Second, steps. These are the actual actions, like popping open a form or sending a message. Third, variables. This is your dynamic data, like automatically pulling in the name of the person who submitted the form. And finally, buttons. These act as interactive pauses, waiting for a user to click approve or continue before the workflow moves on. Now, what's really incredible about these automations is who's actually building them. Get this. Data shows that 80% of workflow creators are non-technical users. That's right, 80%. You absolutely do not need to be a software engineer or know how to write complex scripts to pull this off. If you understand the basic logic of your team's process, you have everything you need to build really powerful automations. Which brings us to the really fun part, section 3, building a bug report. Let's simulate exactly how you'd set up a structured bot to handle those annoying, vague bug pings. It starts right inside your Slack desktop app. And hey, you can follow along with this even if you're on a Slack-free workspace. You just click your workspace name, navigate to Tools, and open Workflow Builder. Hit New, and you'll be asked to choose a trigger. Now for a bug report, selecting Start from a link in Slack is absolutely brilliant. It generates a unique shortcut link that you can pin to your support channels or embed right in a team canvas. Whenever someone clicks that link, boom, the workflow begins. Once it's triggered, the very first step we're going to add is a form. This right here is the magic of the single front door. Using a really simple drag and drop interface, you add required fields, a short text field for title, a drop-down for severity, a paragraph field for steps to reproduce, and an upload option for a screenshot. And because these fields are required, it's literally impossible for a user to submit a vague, "Hey, the app is broken" request. They have to give you the context. Finally, we add our action step, send a message. We configure this to post directly into a dedicated triage channel. Let's call it #bugs. Using those dynamic variables we talked about earlier, you just map the answers from the form directly into a beautifully formatted message. So it'll automatically spit out new bug reported by username, severity, high, description, their text. It literally takes minutes to set up, but I promise you it saves hours of frustration. So, what actually happens when you deploy this thing? Let's jump into section 4, real support scenario, and look at the immediate impact this no-code bot has on a team. Here is a typical timeline of how this transformation plays out. On day 1, the engineering team is completely overwhelmed with chaotic, unstructured DMs scattered across a dozen different channels. By day 3, the team deploys the new workflow shortcut link in their main general channel and they pin it right to the top. By day 7, literally just 1 week later, the transformation is complete. Support agents and engineers are now receiving highly consistent, completely searchable bug reports that are primed and ready to be exported directly as Jira tickets. And this brilliantly illustrates the exact difference. Before, you have this completely useless, contextless ping that basically forces a 20-minute back-and-forth conversation. But after, you get a rich, actionable, formatted bug report summary generated instantly by the bot. It is a total night and day difference for team morale and resolution times. Now, before you go off automating everything in sight, Section 5, Best Practices and Governance, because maintaining these tools is just as important as building them. First off, recognize that you can absolutely scale this up. Once you master the basic forms and messages, Workflow Builder lets you add advanced third-party connector steps. Still without touching a single line of code, you can configure your bug report bot to automatically create a row in Google Sheets, open a ticket in Zendesk, or even generate an issue directly in Jira the exact second that form is submitted. But as you build more, you've got to stay organized. A great rule of thumb is to always name your workflows like products. Use a convention like department, followed by purpose, followed by version. For example, IT Bug Report V2. Furthermore, never, ever leave a workflow owned by just one single person. Always add a team user group, like your IT admins, as co-managers. This ensures that if the original creator ever leaves the company, your critical automations don't just suddenly break or become uneditable. So, the really crucial takeaway here is this: review quarterly. Delete or merge dead workflows, because automation debt is a very real thing. Just like actual code, automations require maintenance. If your team completely forgets what a bot does, or if it triggers unexpectedly in the wrong channel, you've got too many. Always prioritize quality over quantity, and make sure you audit your workspace every single quarter. Okay, you now have the tools, you understand the power of the single front door, and you have proof that you definitely don't need to be a coder to pull this off. So pick one repetitive task that's frustrating your team right now, open up Workflow Builder, and take back your time. How will you transform your team's chaos into a structured, automated workflow today?